is length times width. So just write the equation right next to it. Area of a rectangle, length width, length width. Say it. Area of a rectangle, length width, length width. Again. Area of a rectangle, length width, length width. One more time. Area of a rectangle, length width, length width. Okay. And parallelogram base height. Goes like so. And a parallelogram base height. Base height. Say it. And a parallelogram base height. Base height. With me again. And a parallelogram base height. Base height. Okay. So these guys are related. Basically, a parallelogram. Put your arms up like this. Make a rectangle. A rectangle is just a parallelogram is just a rectangle pushed on its side. So you can call this base times height. That's still base times height. Just remember the height is the right angle in the middle. A triangle. Go like this. Just put a dotted line through your parallelogram and shade it. That'll help you associate it. A triangle is just half a parallelogram. Video last night. So a triangle is 1/2 base height, or like that. That works too. Tricky one. This has a very awkward beat. I've had to practice. Okay. A tract is height times sum of bases. A tract height times average of bases. A tract height times average of bases. Hey, a tract height times average of bases. A tract height times average of bases. Again. Okay. And last one is what we did last night. How is a triangle and a regular polygon related? A regular polygon is simply made up of a bunch of triangles. We did that last night. And your apothem replaces height. Your perimeter replaces base. So area of a regular polygon, 1/2. Instead of base, we write perimeter times apothem. I want you to do this with me. Perimeter. Always, always, always physically walk your perimeter around. Never, ever eyeball your perimeter. Always physically walk it. Get your calculators out. We're just going to do this one together just for kicks. Okay, so I'd like you to walk this around. We're going to get our perimeters first. Walk it around. Get your perimeter. 10 seconds, I'm going to land on someone. Emily, what's our perimeter, ma'am? That was a nonagon. Physically trace your apothem, which is like the height of the triangle. Out loud, what's our apothem? And then over 2, there's your area. And that's how hard that is. Yes, it gets a little more interesting than that sometimes, but the main thing I want you to remember is always physically trace your stuff out. Okay, we're going to pull this all together. It's to the Ants Go Marching One by One song. I'm sorry if I'm ruining a camp song for you. I will sing it once, you will sing it with me, and then we'll move along. Hopefully, and I recommend know your parents all the way home seeing this. That way you don't. I know it. I know equations. Well, guess you know it now. But what about 7 weeks from now on the final? Okay, so if repetition increases retention. I like to say repetition increases retention. I'm not just interested in comprehension. Most of you already comprehend this. You're like, oh, I get it. Yeah, you get it now. But I want you to retain 7 weeks from now, and maybe, let's say, a couple years from now when you're taking SATs and stuff like that. So it's not just comprehension on that. The only way you get to retention is that lovely thing called repetition. There's no way around that. I know you guys think repetition's busy work. It isn't. Okay, just sports, repetition is what retains the muscle memory. It goes like this. The area of a rectangle length width, and parallelogram base height, a triangle, 1/2 base height, a trap height times average of bases, an area of a regular polygon is 1/2 perimeter at the thumb, boom, boom, boom. Ready? I know you're like shell shock. I'll slow it down from the top. Just put your fingers, guys, physically put your fingers on the paper and try to track with me. And if you can't see, at least say the words. Right there. On the paper. Try to see. Rectangle, length width. And the parallelogram base height, a triangle, 1/2 base height, a trap height times average of bases, an area of a regular polygon is 1/2 perimeter at the thumb, boom, boom, boom. One more time, let's pick it up, get a little bit more of a beat, good. Ready? The area of a rectangle, length width. And a parallelogram base height, a triangle, 1/2 base height, a trap height times average of bases, an area of a regular polygon is 1/2 perimeter at the thumb, boom, boom, boom. Great, so guys, I really love those horror stories, guys, because that'll tell me you actually did it. Yeah, you know what? How about you just cycle through all the songs on the way home? But start with this one, because it's new. All righty, guys, we're going to do 3 problems together. Ready? Number 1, I'd like you to draw this, trace, and label, please. Draw it and label. And we'll do it together. All right, so we're going to start. Watch how I do this, guys. 1, when you read it, I underline all my key stuff. And when it comes to the find, I always box it and put a question mark. Okay? Now, as you draw, you cross stuff out. I'm hoping you have this internalized right now. It's a triangle. It has a base length of 20. So I write 20 inches. I cross it out. It has an area of 230 inches squared. So I'm just going to shade and do a little arrow. I know I already have the area. Find the height. My height is my unknown. Start by writing the equation. A triangle. 1/2 base height, or base times height over 2. A triangle, 1/2 base height. Or if it's a right triangle, leg times leg over 2. Good call there, Coleman. So here we just circle, plug, chug. That's why, do you see why we write the equation with area equals? Very often you have to work with the other side. So we have 230 equals your base, which is 20, times your height, which is your unknown, over 2. Pop that over 1, solve. I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Yes, you may use calculators if you need to. Hey there. Yes, sir. What's up? Yes, is it for the something with the red? Give me a second. Alrighty, guys. Out loud, what'd you get for the height? Beautiful. There we go. Okay, now that was an easy one. Ready? Here it says, I want you to put your finger on this. I want this read out loud. Underline the keywords. Go. It's either apothem or apothegm, depending which dictionary you look up. So whatever makes, yes. All right. Be very careful here, guys. First off, let's write our regular polygon area, which is area equals perimeter times apothegm over 2. Why did I? We're getting there. Okay, so we're cutting dad in half. You got your dad to use just a regular dog. Your dad. Oh, but he's just going to be a regular guy. I'm sorry, I'm going to be really gross right now, but you'll never forget it. To find the area of a regular polygon, say regular guy, regular polygon. Your dad's a regular guy. Ready? You're cutting paw in half. That's how you find the area of a polygon. Paw in half. Alrighty, guys. Problem is, when you see the word polygon, do you know the number of sides? Poly's generic. It's like saying I drive a car. All right, but let's look at what we have. We do have the sum of interior angles. Great, write it down. Sum interior angles, sides minus 2 times 180, because we can't do perimeter unless we know the number of sides. Circle plug chug. We know this. We don't know the number of sides. Okay? Okay, I'm going to freeze this. I want you to solve for n all by your lonesome. And remember, what you're solving for is the number of sides. Yeah, you can use calculators here. Although you actually don't need it. Yes, you can check, Brian, if that's all you're asking. Okay, ask a neighbor. What are we going to do? Getting there. It's not a 45, 45, 90. It's not. Okay. This shape, tell a neighbor how many sides? Check. It's an octagon. So now we're going to draw. Now that we know what it looks like, you're going to draw it. Okay, which is a stop sign. It doesn't have to be all perfect. We put our information on here. It's 8 centimeters and an apothegm of 9.7. Make sure you get your right angle there. Now you have what you need. Okay, so we circle P for perimeter. We do not glance at it and look and see 8 and plug an 8 there. I've taught the same thing for now almost 17 years, guys. People make mistakes all the time. You physically trace the sides for perimeter every single time. In fact, I want to see that little tail arrow. That tail arrow says, I traced around this way. That's 8 times 8. Perimeter is? Yes. 9.7, I circle. Okay, now you may grab your calculators and get me that area. About 0.4? 30? I think it's a little bit more than that. Did you say 310, ma'am? Can you check it? Okay, just do 64 times 9.7. Okay, double check. 64 times, kind of do an estimate. Guys, you see that 9's kind of like a 10? Okay, yeah? All right, so always estimate before you plug things in a calculator, right? And do we have units? Yes, we do. Centimeters squared, life is good. Ryan, did you figure it out, sir? Did you figure out what I showed you? Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay, let's do this last one. Oh, excellent. Say it out loud again. Miss Willis, say it out loud. We don't have the paper. Okay, but get that with a little bit of a whine there. What are you missing? Yes. Okay, look what we have here. We have a regular pentagon. Let's write our equation. Area equals perimeter times apothem over 2. Okay, and we know that's 12 centimeters. Let's walk it around. 5 times 12. Okay, so we have 60 here. And as Miss Naya here was observing, there's nothing there. So we're going to leave a blank there, and obviously we have to come back to that creature. Leave it blank. Couple steps here. Step 1, we're going to move our 12 right here. Do you see the apothem gives you a lovely little right angle there? Okay, let's draw in a radius. Once you draw in that radius, I'd like you to shade it. You have a what kind of triangle there? Lovely right triangle. Oh, your friend. Right triangle is your best friend. Okay, so right here, the squiggle, the apothem cuts it in half. So let's pull out what we have so far. We have a 6 here. We have a right triangle. This is what we're hunting for. But the problem is we have no angles other than the right angle. But let's look what we can do. Do you see have a radius there? Do you see have a radius there? Could you draw in all your radii, please? Just draw them all in. They're all the same. All right. Put your pencils right here, please. Swing it all the way around. Out loud, how many degrees? That's 360. Now look really carefully. Now go back, and I'd like you to do these squiggles. See that? Squiggle it. Go from radius to radius. See that? Squiggle. See that? Squiggle. See what I'm doing? From radius to radius. Okay, now that's the orange, but look at our triangle. Our little pull-out triangle here is not this whole thing. That's 72, but we want this guy right there. 36. Okay, ready? I want you to put a pause button on this right now. I want you to look at this. I want you to hold up 3 fingers. And the question is this: when you don't have the apothem, okay? When you don't have the apothem, I want you to think, what are the 3 steps you need to start working your way there? Ready? I want you. Oh, wait a minute, we're not done. We haven't actually solved. Let's solve first, and then we're going to do our little metacognition. Okay, guys, we have an angle here. Let's zoom in so you can see that really carefully. From the 36, we're going to label. That's opposite. See what I'm doing? You cannot use 30, 60, 90 because it's not a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Yes, we're using Sophia. We have the opposite. We want the, okay, what goes with OA? TOA. So we're going to write it out here. Tangent of theta over 1 equals opposite over adjacent. Remember, you always write the original equation, please. Now we're going to write tangent, 36 degrees. Put parentheses around that, over 1 equals opposite, which is our 6. over adjacent, which is our x. Still okay? Okay, we're going to cross multiply. You end up with tan 36 times that x. Let me keep your color coded here. Over 6. Warning, is x currently by itself? No. Do not touch your calculator until your x is by itself. Okay, that's very important. So we have the tan 36. We're dividing. And we end up with x is going to equal 6 divided by tan 36. Now, is x by itself? Now touch your calculator. You are trying to solve for the apothem. Take it to the first decimal place. I'll pull my answer up here and you can check yours. We should be getting 6 divided by, I have to do 36 tan backwards, around 8.3. Okay, thumbs up if you got that on your calculator. You know how to do that, remember? That's a long time ago. That's almost 2 months ago. 8.3. Now, we come up here, put your 8.3 there, solve for your area. You're good to go. We good? Okay. Now, the key to this whole problem is what did you do? Whoops, don't forget units. What were your units? Centimeters? And it's going to be centimeters. What, Sam? Bingo. Okay, now hold up 3 fingers. The main question is here. When you don't know the apothem, what do you do? Ready? I want 10 seconds of silence. Think it through. We had to actually do quite a lot of footwork here. 10. Okay, buddy up with someone. Describe your steps here. Go. What are your steps?